depending on how long this heat wave scorches the southwest, it's actually pretty well the entire southwest of the United States is now under the super heat wave. And the temperature in Phoenix, Arizona is the hottest it's ever been in history. So that's really quite disturbing. If it's in mid-June and this is already happening, it's what's called a polar rotating vortex. So basically the jet stream is rotating around, just building heat, and of course drying out at the same time, putting extreme pressure on the power grid. The power grid is not designed to be able to handle this, and even their quote smart grid system they're trying to bring in wouldn't be able to handle the excessive load on the system. So it's a major problem. If you have questions on this issue and you're living in this part of the country, do call in 800-313-9443, 800-313-9443. We're also going to be talking to John Stadtmiller, who is the founder of Republic Broadcasting. We hope to bring on John here soon, too. So let's see if we can track down John Stadtmiller and continue this discussion with John. Okay, sounds good. Okay. What's happening now is that I'm looking at some of the latest video news. It talks about ISIS threats to air bases on Drudge, collective info on 77 facilities. Talks about the video portrays preparation for Times Square bombing and so on. What I see happening is an ever-increasing set of really concerning issues that are going to converge before the election time, and apparently the move to try to stop Trump is to stop the collaboration, as Matthew said, between Russia, NATO, and elimination of extreme Islam and stabilizing these countries. So for every dollar to spend in America helping one person by immigrating them here, they could have 11 people helped in the Middle East, in Syria and Iraq and these other countries, bringing in primary water, building infrastructure, and rebuilding their economy. But we don't want to talk about that. What we're doing is the globalists are rushing toward an arc of chaos against Russia, building up a war plan, and not dealing with climate change and extremes that are happening. We'll be back in just a moment. Your questions, 800-313-9443. We'll be back in a moment.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
Roberts & Roberts Brokerage believes that everyone should have some of their assets in investment-grade precious metals. Roberts & Roberts has been a trusted name in precious metals for nearly 40 years. Experienced investors will appreciate our personal service and low prices. If you're new to precious metals, we can help you find the products right for you. Give us a call today at 800-874-9760 or visit us online at rrbi.co. Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, when you're serious about precious metals.
This is not legal advice. This is a public service announcement from takefromcaesar.us. Only one statute explains how to tax your paycheck, Tax Code Section 83. In decisions from 1979 to 2011, the courts say Section 83 governs the taxation of all compensation for personal services, but the IRS lies on the stand, claiming to be unfamiliar with Section 83. Only one person can explain what Section 83 means, David Merlin. Visit takefromcaesar.us for more information.
Would you like freedom from health insurance? You're not alone. Whether you're self-employed, a small business owner, or an individual who purchases health care for yourself and your family, Liberty Health Share could be the answer. Liberty Health Share has united a community of like-minded people that actually share health care costs. And Liberty Health Share members are exempt from IRS penalties associated with the Affordable Care Act. Imagine freedom from insurance. You choose your own doctor and hospital. Your medical provider simply submits your bills to Liberty Health Share for processing. Why wait? You do have choices. Together we're changing healthcare for good. Find out more and get a free monthly estimate right now. For a limited time, use promo code TALK to save $50 when you enroll. Go to libertyhealthshare.com/options. That's libertyhealthshare.com/options.
That was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Father's Day, Grandfather's Day.
We sure celebrated if it wasn't.
It was great. So, Michelle, what do you have to say to our audience? I guess Chris, our youngest son, is exposed to the heat wave down there in North Carolina.
Oh, I'm so glad we're up here in beautiful Portland. I just took a walk down with Kelsey to get a bagel. Oh, this place is so natural. Everything here is very liberal, very natural. And, oh, my gosh, I went to look at shoes, and she told me there was vegan leather. I said, is that leather, those shoes? Are they real leather? She said, no, that's vegan leather. And I said, what in the world is vegan leather? Vegan leather is just fake. They call it vegan
funny.
leather. Anyways, that was fun. So hopefully all you listeners out there had a wonderful weekend, just as we did. And what's the big thing with the heat wave? Surely it will be gone by the time we get home tomorrow, I hope.
It doesn't look like there's any sign of that.
Oh, no. See, that's one thing about California that I don't like. It's too hot.
It's not just California. It's all the way up to Northern California. It's covering all the way through Texas, straight through Oklahoma, and so on. It's a huge chunk. It's at least, I'd say, a third of the United States is covered by this.
Oh.
And the temperature hit the highest level in Beverly Hills ever, 112. Hottest temperature day on record ever in Phoenix, right? And it's apparently the rotating jet stream that's rotating around, just building. And they've never seen it before. This has never happened in U.S. history.
Well, isn't there a problem with the jet stream? I thought some of it was destroyed. Is that true? Remember before you were saying it was...
Well, the loop current was destroyed, and it still hasn't come back because there's still leakage from the wellheads. And what that means is we're having a situation now where the...
Hold on now. What are you talking about? Leakage from what wellheads?
The wellheads at the McConnell drill site where they were drilling down at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
There's still leakage, so they're still putting Corexit there, which is still breaking up the boundary zone between the warm waters of the Gulf hitting... And it looks like our connection is gone.
Oh, you mean we're not on the air?
No, we're back now.
Oh, see, that's one thing we had in California was good air.
Good connection.
Good Wi-Fi's and good connections.
Yeah, I hope we're
what
back.
Is it up here in Oregon? We can't get any
Well,
connection.
I think the Skype is bad.
Well, then why don't we...
Okay.
Then I was going to say, why don't we do telephone instead of Skype?
We might have to if it continues. Again, Dan's got my phone number if you have to if Skype doesn't work.
Okay.
So Michelle, we're talking about the heat waves. This heat wave, this heat wave has never occurred before. If it continues for a matter of weeks, it'll be catastrophic. The power will go out in southern United States, and we'll have millions of climate refugees.
Okay, well, you know me, I'm the ever positive, looking positively to the future. That probably won't get that bad.
It already is that bad. It's catastrophic today.
What do you want to do? Do you want to stay up here in Portland another week?
No, I'm just. just California. If the map that I show you here shows
that Santa Barbara fire they just had, what was that? What caused that? Do you know?
the same thing. It was this, but they were having little spikes in heat wave. Nothing like this one here. If you look at this map here, which you have the scorching heat wave, you can see just how huge it is. It covers a giant territory where heat wave scorching southwest proves fatal. And then there's another map here that talks about longest day heat wave scorching southwest. And these temperatures are, let's see what we have here.
Now, we've had that in California before, though.
Not this hot.
Not
this
112, though.
No, this is different. Before you'd have heat waves coming in across the desert, it would just be one area, like an area of just coming over mountains from like Temecula toward.
Yeah.
This is the entire southwest. We're talking about all the way from Northern California, all the way through to Texas to Oklahoma. It's like, if you look at this
like
map here,
fried.
for example, I'll give you an example. Here's the map.
I see it. Yeah,
you can see all the way through from Northern California, from north of Reno, Salt Lake City, Denver, Albuquerque, El Paso, Texas, Phoenix, Northern Mexico, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, San Francisco. I mean, it covers a huge territory. There's only a little bit of Northern California that's not covered, and all of Oregon's okay, and Idaho's okay, but it's.
Bill, I forgot to take a drink this morning.
Like that song. Founder of Republic Broadcasting, John Stettmiller. John, we were talking to John Moore just a moment ago about the extreme climate, and I'm up in Portland, Oregon, visiting grandkids. Today, with my youngest son at home, it's 100 degrees in Vista. Palm Springs is 118. Phoenix is 115. Tucson 112. Flagstaff up in the mountains is a mile high is 93. Las Vegas 111. Death Valley 125. This is extreme climate's going to get more common. I'm sure this is one of many issues you cover in your show. Tell us what you think.
I'll just say from the outset, when I first came down to Texas here, Dr. Bill, I knew why so many people were converting to Christianity is because maybe the pains and the suffering and the heat of hell may not be something they want to experience for eternity. So,
You're
maybe,
a funny guy.
So maybe this is good. I don't know.
Now, this heat wave, by the way, doesn't look like it's hit to Texas. It's just a little western edge of Texas, got a bit of it. But these kind of rotating vortices of the northern jet stream, we talked about this from the report that John has on his website, thelibertyman.com. We also have all kinds of things happening. We have the crazy election cycle where they're still trying to attack Trump, who's the only guy trying to collaborate with the Russians to get rid of terrorists. He wants to vet these people to make sure we don't have terrorists in our country.
Well, Bill, you're going to throw so much at me that I'm not going to be able to properly respond to any one subject.
Yeah. So anyway, I want you to pick up whatever you like.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
There's so many hot subjects that you cover in your show.
Well, and first of all, the number one topic is the network that you're on.
Right.
We just had our 13th anniversary for Republic Broadcasting Network. I was summarily thrown off the same network that you were prematurely cut from. And it's been an adventure for the last 13 years.
Right.
And I'm very happy to have you on this network and followed by Michael Rivero. This little switch and move made me move my program from 4 to 6 p.m. Central to 6 to 8. I'd occupied that spot for, nigh on 20 years, I think it was.
Right.
And it's been an adjustment to make, but I did it for the sake of the continuity, to accommodate you, to accommodate Michael Rivero. And, of course, I'm secondary to any host on this network because the primary purpose of this network is to have hosts that deliver the information that the 6 major corporations that control everything that you see, read, and hear, that's why we're here. And that's why Vince Finelli, he crowned me with the thorny crown of you're the godfather of the alternative media.
Right. Well, you in fact started the radio show that later became Genesis Network, and they did some pretty nasty things to you there. I call Genesis Radio Prison. Well, and the behavior and the attitude of Alex Jones and Joyce Riley and others over at that network, including Ted Anderson and Lee Wickenhauser, to me is disrespectful and obscene. And it doesn't show the fact that we're collaborators. We're all team members, like a football team, trying to get the truth out because we citizen broadcasters are the only thing between the devil and the deep blue sea. The regular media are completely non-functional, And most of the alternative media are propagated by egomaniacs, Me Too, or people that really don't have good interest because they are infiltrated by various agencies or people wanting to control the alternative media.
Well, we can simply just put this under the banner, they've strayed from the path.
Right.
Okay, and anytime, years ago when I started Republic Radio International, and it became Genesis Communications.
Right.
I simply said a quiet prayer, and Bill, literally, I can count on one hand how many times I've made fervent prayer. And the one is to keep the quest for money. You know, people will often say, what was that saying about root of all evil? Yeah, money is the root of all evil. No, it is not. It is a tool like a hammer or a saw or a nail or a book or anything else. It's the love of money. It's the root of all evil. Right. And I said a quiet but fervent and sincere prayer, keep the ego out of it and keep the quest for money. Well, he has certainly delivered on keeping the ego and the money out of it. It's been a...
You've done, what I'm hoping now, because I've been here now a couple months, and I'm really pleased. The whole network yourselves are excellent, and the board ops are top-notch. I'll tell you what I'm hoping. In the last few months, I tried to be a quick learner. I'm working with Jim Gorsey and his tech staff over in New York City. In the last 2 months, I've done what I call a decade worth of upgrading on high tech. So we've now got a Blueberry with our RSS feeds and all the audio. We have text. I've had a live stream channel, which I was using just to part-time over at Livestream. I upgraded 2 months ago. And now we have a live stream RSS video feed to basically every video platform from premium video, Vimeo to YouTube and so on. And I think of it, not just radio now, I call it multimedia. That with our help, and again, I'm helping to get Jim Gorsey to get your whole network up on all these feeds. You have to get it not just on people's radio, but now it has to be on their cell phone and their iPad, and they have to be able to be searchable to find the topic they want when they want, because everybody's so darn busy trying to just make a living. They can't.
Well, and I want to publicly thank you because of turning me on to Jim Searcy. I've had conversations with him in the last couple of days. And an announcement here to the RBN audience. Sorry, but we enter into contract and people with good faith, and then it seems like the faith dwindles, and so does their word. We were using a company called Loverino for archive services. Well, they have severely failed us. So Blueberry, this is what Jim is helping me with, and we're going to carbon copy what you've done with your site for the entire network, which is going to bring in more listeners. It'll be constant. In other words, continuity is extremely important in the radio days. How would people enjoy dialing up and listening to your program to discover they're listening to a program from 2 years ago?
Right. Well, what's happened over at Genesis is they're so unethical. They continue even after a legal notice to play old shows that confuse people.
Well, they're in trouble. They are. Look, this has affected us all. They are in deep doo-doo. They have not. They have not restructured like RBN has. I saw this coming. We've got a staff now of 5 people, and that's it. And that's not including myself.
Right.
5 people to run an entire network, and I wished I had 1/10 of the money that Genesis has breezed through in the last 15 years of their operation. If they don't restructure now, and it's going to be drastic, if they do not, they will either have to be sold or restructured rapidly, or they're going to go dark. It will leave us the remaining people. So I understand why they're trying to hold on to Bill Deagle, all the while not really paying attention and giving one of the top-notch hosts on GCN the consideration that was due. You should have been treated like you were gold, like Dan treats you here when he produces your show every day.
Exactly.
And again, I will say, people have strayed off of the path. They have taken their eyes off of what's important and how do we get there from here. And that's one of the mechanisms.
The first thing you have to be concerned about is that you have to follow what I call Christian principles. Like Jesus said, there's 2 commandments: love God with your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. Which means you have to be a patriot. You have to know the truth, even if you don't understand the truth. The most important thing is not having all the answers, but asking the best questions you can at the time with the information you have.
Well, and a lot of people are agnostic. There's been a pulling away from the Bible and the Word and all that stuff, and I've argued with.
I think it's more pulling away from church, because I can't go to a public church in America. I don't take enough anti-nauseants.
Well, and people,
but I'm a Christian, and the thing is, a lot of people listen to the program. Our show is their church, if you want to call it.
Well, and the network, I've dubbed it. It's the Church of Truth. And I want to stay true to this, and we have throughout these years. But the point I'd like to make here is this is time of great struggle and great turmoil and great chaos. And what people need is that constant touchstone, if you will, that they can come back and go, okay, I trust this guy or I trust this gal. I've listened to this program. I want to see if this meshes with me. But on the subject of atheism or agnosticism, years ago, we still had that. Homosexuality and lesbianism has been around since mankind, okay?
Right.
We understand and accept that. But the problem is that who's promoting it, different lifestyle, busting up the family, the real core of what you would deem as being God's platform, if you will.
Right.
So
the other thing, of course, is that 93% of agnostics believe in God and 78% of atheists believe in God.
Well, and isn't that ironic?
They just haven't found it in the public churches, because the public churches are so nuts. I'm going to have, for example, Tex Mars back on. He has
I've got him on tomorrow. Or actually, tomorrow.
Right. So Texas, apparently, he's come back on. He had one book we've talked about the last few months called, Past.
I'm sorry? Okay. Well, while Bill is reconnecting, what's wrong with his janky internet? I'm sorry? Hotel. Well, he needs to plug right into the hotel's broadband fire hose. Is he back? Are you still up there in Oregon, Bill? Okay, not yet? Okay. Well, at any rate, I'll finish this out while Bill's reconnecting. The problem that people had sense before, whether you're an atheist or agnostic, it wasn't about pulling down the church or anything else.
Yeah, hi. I'm reconnected. I'm sure you picked up there, John.
Yeah, and I was just answering your question that you had asked before, Bill, and I was saying that atheists and agnostics heretofore had the good sense to leave the Christian doctrine or what drove this country. They had the good sense to leave it alone. This wasn't politics. They weren't entering into a field of, let's debate God and all this other stuff. This has been really, really damaging to this country. Not only this country, but countries around the world.
Well, I think what's happened is that each group sets themselves up to be superior to another group. And really, to be honest with you, Jesus said, when God returns, let's say to earth, at some future date, that relationship with God always trumps religion. I call real lies going on. Mm-hmm. Now, the same thing goes with the idea of being a patriot. It doesn't matter if you're Muslim, if you're gay, if you're lesbian, if you're ever. Yep. If you put the U.S. Constitution and the care of each other first, then we're all Americans.
Oh, you mean take the politics out of politics?
Yeah. And the fact is, you see, when Trump, for example, made the statements, they say Caitlyn Jenner could use the restrooms in this Trump Tower. When he made the statement, we need to protect gays and lesbians when they're in the Pulse club in Orlando, there are a number of tweets and Twitter accounts that are literally being suppressed purposely by Facebook and Twitter because they don't want people to say, that Trump is not against gays and lesbians or women or people that are Hispanic. The fact is they don't want him to make an alliance with Russia to deal with terrorism because the arc of chaos these maniacs are creating wants to bring in terrorism to America, wants to radicalize Islam, wants to create a situation where they even help terrorists. For example, this guy was a member of GS4, which is Securicom, the same group that took care of 9/11. And Securicom, they already knew there were lots of red flags since 2013. This guy Mateen was going to do something. Mm-hmm. And they knew his father was involved politically with the Afghan government.
Well, not only that, he was making visits to the White House. There are photographs now on the web. This wasn't just some estranged guy. He was pretty much an asset of the CIA. Sound familiar, Bill?
Just like the asset numbers on the passports by what's called 9/11 scholars found that the passport numbers given to the pilots who were supposedly flying the jets in 9/11 were all CIA affiliate operative passport numbers. It's like, excuse me, just like the FBI 3.5 years ago gave this kid bomb materials to blow up a bomb at a Christmas lighting ceremony in Portland, Oregon. It's just, you see the fingerprints of the CIA and FBI and Department of Injustice over everything.
All over everything.
And the fact is, they want to aggravate these people. For example, when Obama goes to the Situation Room, they don't just do one drone strike. They go back and kill the EMTs trying to save people's lives and blow them up too.
Well, and you mentioned the Middle East, Afghanistan. They're trying to fast track Afghanistan coming into the European Union, which is now falling apart. Which I think this week. What is the date on that Brexit?
23rd is Brexit.
Okay, so that's
Thursday.
That is literally in a couple of days.
Right.
And if England decides to pull out of the EU, that might be enough to topple them. They're trying to fast track Afghanistan or other countries into the EU, and this is not going to be successful. And on top of this, what has happened with this caliphate all of a sudden, the new one that popped up, ISIS, that is our doing. Russia.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Russia embarrassed us on a worldwide scale by going in and really going after what we had set up, trained, and funded. And Assad is not going anywhere. He was duly elected by the people of Syria, and they have used this as an excuse to ship refugees around the world. Well, if they would just stop bombing these people back into the Stone Age, there'd be no reason for them to leave.
But not only that, for every dollar we spend here to bring a refugee in, we could help 11 people in the Middle East by building infrastructure, power schools, and make it a safe zone. People can have their life back.
What these people need is they need out from under the claws of these globalists. They need their nation state. They need their own determination. What they need is a break, and what they need more than anything is they need some restful peace in which to pull themselves back together. Bill, you know, we're all weepy-eyed here over 49 people dying in Orlando, Florida.
Right.
Who is there to weep for the 2 million people at the hands of the United States government that have been killed in the Middle East?
Oh, yeah, it's at least 2 million. I heard that the number just of children that died because they couldn't get medical drugs since the Gulf War was at least 500,000 just children.
Well, that was Madeleine Albright, then Secretary of State, when she was interviewed. It was 500,000 children just in Iraq alone, and she said that was acceptable as far as collateral damage goes.
Yeah,
500,000 dead children.
What's amazing to me is that there was not more terrorism spontaneously without the assistance of the FBI and the CIA. The fact is, it takes a lot of effort to radicalize these people and be willing to come to our country to blow themselves up and kill other people. So they get people that are unusually aggressive and manipulative and put in positions of power like this guy Mateen. And then they want to get a domestic security bill so they can take away all our rights, collapse the economy, have a cashless system where all their our money is in it's in their supercomputer. And if you don't behave the way they want to, like they started socially profiling everybody in China, and you can't get a job unless your social profile number is above a certain level.
Well, and we're dealing with different facets of the same beast here. You know, our distraction has been the Hillary email thing. It has been
it's ridiculous.
It has been the Pulse nightclub. It has been this issue or that issue, and all the while, the final component to the globalist New World Order plan is being implemented and soon to be implemented. Hopefully not here in the United States through the TTP and the TTIP. This is going to include us into the European Union, and this is going to be the end of self-determination as a nation state, as anything, our laws, anything else.
Exactly. I expect that before either Obama leaves office or immediately after, if Hillary Clinton is not indicted with the email, which shouldn't be the main indictment should be her Secretary of State killing people and screwing up Libya.
Bill, pick something in the last 25 years. My God, that this woman, you know, and this is really sad because people are actually considering putting a woman in office when she should be put in jail for all the criminal activity in the last quarter century.
If you look at the demographics, if she's not indicted by August for Libya or anything, she's almost certainly going to become president from looking at just the numbers.
Well, I don't know about that, but either way,
that's what I tease right now. Now, between now and then, if enough truth comes out, there's 8 movies coming up between now and Election Day against the Clintons, including the books by Roger Stone, which I've had on the show. People are not informed. When I talk to people even up here in Portland, a lot of them are pro-Hillary. It's like, and I ask them questions. I say, do you know how corrupt she is, how dangerous she is? She's the most corrupt politician in modern history.
And
I mean, it's amazing that, and these people try to say, well, Trump is. I said, are you kidding me?
Well,
I think everything he's doing.
Trump, Bill, as far as Trump goes, no, he's not been in service in the government before. He's not been a politician. He has a general understanding of economies, what makes economies grow, what stagnates them. He's hit on many different points so far. And I would much rather walk into the Trump Towers and be on a Trump gambling table throwing the dice on Donald than I would with Hillary Clinton or, I'm a self-proclaimed socialist, Bernie Sanders. Right. This is absolutely insane. But here again, Bill, what we're talking about here is detracting from the eventuality of their last puzzle piece going into the puzzle to include us into this global alliance.
Well, I think that the exit of Brexit actually may precipitate the formation of a superstate in Europe that will absorb Turkey and add 40 million Turkic Muslims, many of them not vetted and also victims of terrorism. Our war terrorism policy, and that will mean that Europe will effectively very quickly become very Sharia compliant.
Yes,
and it'll be basically a superstate without national boundaries.
And I'm glad you mentioned we had just posted this. As I said, I talked to my friend over in Ireland, PJ Barton. He's got a show on the weekend here. And he called me last night, and he said, John, he says, you know the referendum's coming up in England? And I said, yes. He said, you absolutely have to watch the movie Brexit, the movie, Brexit, the movie. And we have it posted on Republic Broadcasting Network. And I have missed a lot of this. I am not a Superman. I don't have X-ray eyes. I don't have superhuman abilities. This 1 minute and 11-minute documentary actually filled in the holes that I had in my studies. And I would urge everybody to go to our site, republicbroadcasting.org, and it is going to be the best 1 hour and 11 minutes you have ever spent in your life, and that up to and includes the birth of your first baby.
Wow. Now, I think that what they're doing is, this is like a controlled demolition, just like the demolition of the Oklahoma City Murrah building, which I was involved with the special op team, the World Trade Center, which we know is a nuclear demolition with RDX. This is an economic demolition, a geopolitical demolition, with a designed plan for creating this new superstate that will be totally under their control of the Vatican, the global bankers, and the globalists. And even people like Henry Kissinger wrote a policy this year. It said, for us to control the Middle East, we got to stop drone killing and have a proper force on the ground to make it a civil place to be living in, these countries. But instead of collaborating with the Russians, we're basically trying to set them up as our enemy, and they're not our enemy. But eventually they will be.
We got to get rid of the enemies within our own gates, our own State Department, our own neocon, Pentagon-driven madmen. There has to be some fundamental changes that have to take place in this country, because it's just not a Barack Obama. It's just not a George Bush. It's not just this or that. This has been an ongoing slow road, sleigh ride to hell for the last 50 years.
It doesn't matter what party. I call it the snake party. There's a left and right side of the snake. But the belly moves forward by pushing against itself.
That's right. That's
why you have Mitch McConnell say, we can deal with Hillary Clinton. Why would the head of the Republican Senate say he can deal with Hillary Clinton, but he can't endorse Trump? The reason is these people are in bed.
Well,
they don't care. Well, they don't care what happens to America. They'd rather destroy, even lose the Congress and the Senate.
There is a specific agenda that must be met, and they don't care who they have to decapitate in order to make that happen. They'll dance with the devil in the pale moonlight, and that'll be Hillary Clinton if they have to.
Yeah, it's my ugly guess that if she's not indicted by August, that she will be president.
Well,
and they'll continue to
welcome to the Second American Revolution, then.
They got $2 billion in the kitty, and the entire media and a lot of Republicans on the side to try to demolish Trump. And if Trump doesn't become president, and this is what I call a prophetic and an analytic analysis, we will see America start to devolve, just like a geopolitical analyst from Russia said years ago before one of the episodes of The Hunger Games. America will devolve to 6 sub-empires or sub-republics caused by the destruction caused by the geopolitical situation today. Our country is heading toward catastrophe. Climate-wise, geopolitically, for example, we have weather modification.
Bill, thank you for mentioning that. By the way, we skipped the break to afford us a few more minutes here.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we have to end the chemtrails, the spraying, and the weather modification programs that they have been running for more than 15 years.
Right.
So, there it is. And we're coming to the end of your broadcast today. I appreciate you calling me up here and being on your show, because I don't get an opportunity. There's some people that listen to your program that have never listened to mine. I'm on the air on Republic 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and that, of course, is Central Time. And, Bill, I appreciate this very much, and I'm asking people to support this network. There's a lot of good hosts here, a lot of good information.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm
very impressed with the lineup of people you have. The topics they want to cover, their honesty and their determination to realize this is not just a warm-up. This is the big show. Right?
This is it. It's unrolling before our very eyes, and either we get it right this time, or we will not have a second chance.
In fact, what we're doing, basically, I think your show is what I call the seed stock for the real, what I call intellectual and emotional and patriotic revolution in America. It starts in the minds and hearts of people that ask the questions, find the truth, find solutions, and then implement them.
And we're asking for their support. If you'd like to make donations, go to our website, take a look at the thing that says donate on the top banner. Give a few bucks to this network so we can continue to do the work that we need to do to bring you programs such as Bill Deagle's NutriMedical. This is possible by way of the listeners, Bill.
Absolutely. And I'm really hoping, believe it or not, I talked to Jim. He figures he can have you up within a week with all the network.
Actually, he told me about 72 hours.
Yeah, I know. He said 72 to me, too.
All right. Thanks, Bill.
He promised a week, though, for sure.
Thanks, Mr. Deagle.